Hey, what's up, guys? It's Dean Soto from prosulum.com. Again, we are here, prosulum.com, prosulum.com. We're here again. It's almost the exact same thing. I was looking at the last video I did. This is not the same shirt. It is the same shirt, but I do shower and I do change my shirts from time to time. But this is a completely different shirt. Not the same day, not doing this in batch. So don't think that I don't shower. You can think whatever you want. Anyway, today we're going to talk about collision. We're going to talk about colliding with people. Super important thing that is hard for a lot of people. Right now I'm looking, I kind of don't want to look down at you. This is where it should be. But if I'm looking down at you, I apologize. Don't mean to look down on you. So a part of this thing called Wake Up Warrior, I'm going through this thing called Kingdom Challenge. And one of the things that we had to do this last weekend was collide with someone who is lying to you. All right? Colliding with someone who's lying to you. And this is super important. So what is collision? What the heck does collision mean? It means actually confronting the person, right? Having a collision with someone. You can have a collision with someone, or you can have a collision with yourself. You can have a collision with someone or a collision with yourself. Basically, it's learning to say no. It's learning how to stand up for yourself, how to say no. Learning through actually doing how to best say no to a particular situation or a particular person, which can be extremely hard for some people. Some people find it really easy. But even when they find it really easy, they might collide, but there's no relevancy. In the sense of they might just be a jerk, which is not good either, right? And so this weekend, we had to collide with someone. Now on Friday, it's interesting because there are two collisions that happen. The first one was on Friday. I'm already kind of foreshadowing what happened, but I had a client who signed on with Prosulum. And what this client did was take about 2.5 months to fully onboard. Well, that's extremely slow. Extremely slow. Extremely slow. It usually should take no more than a week to onboard. Because when you get into the Prosulum onboarding process, when you're getting your virtual assistant, we are looking for specific things. We're drawing out specific things from you, but they're super, super simple. Really, we're just looking for a 5-minute video that you can send to us showing how to do a particular process so that we can see it and how you're teaching, how you're training, how you're doing these things, so that when your VA comes, we know that you are going to be good at following our system, which our system creates massive results for you. Well, and that's one thing. The other thing is that when your virtual assistant starts, we send an invoice. We have an invoice that comes out right then and there, right when they start. That way we know for sure that they're going to get paid. They're not going to go for a month and not get paid and things like that, right? And so, so this particular customer, super nice guy, still a super nice guy, even when we collided. This particular customer was taking forever. We sent, if I go and look back, we sent 4 or 5 invoices. We asked 4 or 5 times when the virtual assistant was going to start, and he kept on giving us the runaround. I even gave a little bit of free time with the virtual assistant for this person just so they can get used to going and working with them. And eventually, it was interesting because it was Friday morning, this last Friday morning, when I woke up. It was about 5 something in the morning, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna send this guy a text because he was supposed to pay this last. I sent a text to him saying, hey, you need to pay the invoice. We need to get started, and that should have been the 2 days prior, on Wednesday, right? So I wake up and I send the guy a text and I said, hey, essentially Wednesday's passed and the invoice wasn't paid. Hey, if the invoice isn't paid by the end of today, I have to give this virtual assistant who's been waiting on you I didn't quite say it this way, but I'm gonna have to give this virtual assistant to somebody else. But this person has been waiting on you for 2.5 months to start doing something, just waiting. That's not fair to them. I even said that's not fair to them. And he writes back, "Oh, well, we need to get this communication thing. We need to get this communication thing solved, Dean. Like, I don't even know what we're talking about here. What are we talking about?" So we ended up talking that afternoon. And basically, what happened was it was a conversation as to how did it go. This is essentially how it went. Was he would say, "Well, I don't I don't understand what's happening right here because we were supposed to start a long time ago, and the VA we gave the VA stuff and we didn't get a response or whatever." And I wrote back and I said, "Well, we emailed you several times trying to get a start date and then also the invoice so that you could start." And his response was, "Oh, well, um, so I don't really check email that much. I don't check email that much." And I'm like, "Okay." Well, and then the next thing was, well, it was if was happening, he would give some excuse, and then I would say, "Well, that was in the agreement that you signed as to why that was there." And we also sent 4 or 5 emails to tell you about that thing. When it all came down to it, he threw it back on me and said, he tried to throw it back on me and said, "Hey, well, you should just pick up the phone and call. You should have just picked up the phone and call." That's what I tell all my guys. I just tell them to call. So I said, "You know what? Well, here's what I think we should do is I'm going to give this person to somebody else, and you can go through the process again if you'd like. But I'm just warning you." I didn't. How do I say it? I said you can go through the process. You can just go through the process. This way, the person gets the virtual assistant gets somebody that they can work with, like right now. And he said, "Yeah, that sounds like it would probably be a good plan and everything like that." And I said, "Just to warn you, though, we have about 4 or 5 people in the queue, so it might take about a month or maybe even more to get your virtual assistant a brand new one because we had to recruit him and everything like that." And he said, "Well, oh yeah, well we're going and we're finding we already are looking at getting virtual assistants on our own, and we're doing all this and yada 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 yada." And in the back of my head, I'm like, "Yeah, right, dude. Like, dude, you came to us in the first place because you were having problems finding virtual assistants anyway. So what's the deal here? Like, you don't have to lie. You don't have to do any of that." And I said, "Okay, that's fine. That's great. Well, as it stands now, I'm going to be giving that virtual assistant to somebody else." So we got off the phone. Hey, yeah, and just basically, we're done. We're done. I'm not going, and I basically cut him off. I'm not going to even bother him at all. He's not going to reach out to me. We're good. So a little bit of a collision there, basically to get him cut as a customer, right? The next was actually with someone who is very close to me. I'm not going to say who it is, but this person is a family member. This person is a family member who has been pretty close to me, and not too long ago they kind of pushed me away. They called me a liar. They called me this. They called me that, and I'm like, you know what? You can believe whatever you want to believe. That whole situation came from me not texting them or reaching out to them as much. I tend to be an introvert. I tend to isolate myself. I don't really reach out to people that much and that often. It's just the way I am. And they wanted me to reach out once a month, something like that. And I said, I'm happy to reach out when I feel like it, when I want to, but I'm not going to be on a required schedule. I'm not going to be on a schedule, even if it's 1 minute out of the month. I'm not going to be on a required schedule. It's just the way it is. If you want to be in some kind of relationship with me, it's just the way it is. Right? And so, and so this person basically railed on me, said, "You're a effing liar. You're this. You're that. All you care about is yourself. Blah blah blah. And I don't want to talk to you." So we didn't talk for about 2 years, and then they started texting back to me and give me all these excuses as to why they did what they did and yada yada. And it was actually this morning, out of all times that I have to do a collision, this morning, where this person's, because they had actually been reaching out to me and I kind of blew them off. I'm like, I don't need you, and I don't I appreciate you trying to reach out to me, but right now, just not a good time. They reached out to me this morning, and they even called another one of my family members to tell them that basically they're going to hurt themselves if I don't respond. They're going to hurt themselves, potentially kill themselves if I don't respond. And maybe the old me would have kind of freaked out about that. But in reality, right now, for me, do I care? I don't. I don't. And that sounds really harsh, but you can't put that on me, right? When someone's trying to manipulate you like that, that's not fair. It's not fair to you at all. And it's not fair to me. You can't put that on me. I have a family of 9 to worry about, right? Including myself. I have a whole bunch of things to worry about. This is not one of them. And so I wrote back. I actually texted this person because they said they wanted me to call them. They left a voicemail. They also left a message with somebody else, a family member, saying that they were going to hurt themselves if I didn't call. And I texted back, just a simple thing. And I said, look, I will call you when you're ready to stop lying to me and to yourself. And boom, there goes a collision, right? There goes a collision. We have a business collision, have a family collision. Boom. Because the excuses that they were giving me before, oh well, I did this because of blah 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 blah. No, you're lying to me. You're lying. Oh, I'm gonna go kill myself because you're not calling me. No, you're lying to me. You would have already done it. You would have already done it. Can't put that on me. You can't try and manipulate me. You're lying to me, and you're lying to yourself. So when you're ready to stop lying, you can maybe I'll talk to you. But right now, as it stands right now, you're lying to me. Any conversation we have right now is going to be manipulative. That's collision. These are the collision. This is saying no. I don't care if you're going to kill yourself. I don't care if this prospect, he's actually a client. I don't care if this client starts talking bad things about me. I wasn't the one that literally took 2 months. I kept on pushing, and my guys kept on pushing and kept on emailing, kept on. I texted many times. I had my guys call him. There were several different things. They had meetings. They had all these different things. And you're putting that on me? Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. Everybody who has been extremely successful with my systems virtual assistants at ProSaloon.com has followed the process, has done onboarding within the week. It only takes a few minutes. Literally, you're only going to be taking a few minutes. Has onboarding processes, is able to do it within a week, and then boom, they see massive results. And you're gonna put this on me that the 2.5 months was my fault? No, it's your fault. And this guy is supposedly really good at systems, but apparently he's not good at following systems. So, why is this all important? Why are these stories important to you? Why does this even matter? Well, there are times where you're going to need to collide in business. You might be with a supplier, if you're selling on Amazon. It might be with a supplier in China. It might be with a supplier that you're buying wholesale in the States, or whatever, that you have to collide. Where you say, hey, I need a better rate on this. I need a better percentage. I need this. I need that. Where you literally have to collide with them, right? It might be a client that you have from a service business that you have, where you say, "Hey, look, you're not following the process. You need to follow the process, or it's not going to work." I have one customer who just signed on, where during the negotiations, before they even signed the agreement, during the entire negotiation, they kept on asking, "Can you do this instead of this? Can you do this instead of this? Can you do this instead of this?" And every single one, I said, "No, no, 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 I can't, I can't." And they said, "Well, we're talking with this other agency as well, and they, they're able to do that." And I said, "Oh, that's great. Why don't you try them out for a couple months? Go ahead and try them out for 2 or 3 months, and you should be all and come to me afterward, right?" And what did they do? Boom, respect. Boom, they signed. Boom, they're following the process, right? Because I said no. I said I'm just collided. So you're going to have to collide like that with people. It might be with family. It might be with your spouse. It might be with some loved one. But when you collide with that, you're demanding honesty. You're demanding honesty. You're demanding that you do not lie to me. I will not lie to you. This is the issue that we're facing right now. You're demanding that honesty. And guess what? That brings such a good connection, such an amazing connection, right? And then with those people who don't want to stay in truth with you, that want to lie to you, want to continue to have a non-realistic relationship with you, breaks it apart, which is a good thing. Like with that client, they did not want to follow the process. They did not want to follow what actually works. It was been proven to work over and over and over again. It's been proven to work. Seeing my customers just completely go from here to here when they hire a systems virtual assistant from us, because of the process that we take them through, right? Because of the process that we take them through. That is what makes it work. But when they want to have this idea that, oh, I don't have to pay the invoice up front, or I have this idea of, when they have this idea of, I can just string Dean along for X amount of time. I don't have to follow the onboarding process. I don't have to pay for this person. I don't have to pick a start date. I don't have to do all that stuff. They're not living in reality. And then when they start saying, well, I didn't know about this. It was in the agreement. Well, I didn't know about this. We talked about this up front. I didn't know about this. My guys reiterated this on the phone with you, on a Zoom call. So either you're lying, or you have some mental issues or some problems or something like that. But those people who want you to stay in those literally unrealistic, out of reality situations, those people you want to collide with and break apart with. Or sometimes they even go, you know what, you're right. I'm sorry, totally my bad. There you go. Right? So this upcoming week, what's one person that you need to collide with that's been lying to you? Just pick one and start the collision process. You don't have to be a jerk. You can just say, hey, here's what I'm observing. Here's the way it should be, and here's what I'm observing. Or you can just say, hey, this is not this is not the type of relationship I want. Or it could be something like, hey, I don't feel loved when you do blah, 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 blah. But just start colliding with one person this week. You'll see a massive difference. See a massive difference in how you feel, and a massive difference in how people treat you. All right. So Dean Soto, this is Dean Soto. I don't know how I'm going to end these. I want to just say bye because I feel like friends. But then as soon as I say, this is Dean Soto with prosulum.com, prosulum.com, and we'll see you in the next episode. Then it turns into business. But so yeah, go to prosulum, prosulum.com, and I'll check you out in the next episode. See ya.